Oh,
Hey,
hey, good morning, everybody. How are we doing today?
Morning.
Awesome.
Doing
good.
well.
Doing great.
Good to
Wonderful.
see everyone. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh my gosh. I thought the coffee was gonna wake me up, but that soundtrack, that bass line, that
Yeah.
rhythm, all of it, like I'm ready to go for the rest of the day. That was awesome.
You got to keep it
That's
on your
why
phone
Fabric,
now.
yes, that's why Fabric Fridays is the best way to start your Friday. The song alone. Good morning, Kevin. Where are you at?
I'm right next to Alex. See, I mean, and it goes Chris, Alex, Kevin. I'm right next to him. But I am in St. Louis, so Alex's hometown, and I'll get the pleasure of seeing him a little bit later on today, and all day tomorrow. So,
Heck yeah.
because he wants to talk about what it's like to get involved in community stuff like this.
Oh my gosh. Deep reflection. That will be today's topic as well. And anyone who kind of organizes community events, is he thinking about it? Like, what are the steps you need to start considering? So I'm really excited to hear from this group. Just like Chris, I know you've done internal events. Christina, you've done external events. Like, there's so many things that go into it. Uh,
Mhm.
don't feel like you have to do everything. Like, build a team of people and like find those people too. So that's like a lot of thought here as I kind of like look in reflection. But oh my gosh, so much I want to talk about, Chris.
Yeah, there's so much to get into about this stuff. So I'm excited about this topic and conversation because I think we've got a great group of people who are accustomed to either hosting or attending. And I think both of those
Mhm.
viewpoints is really critical in shaping a great event. But we've got a lot going on this weekend. So, Alex, you're hosting the oh my
Sequel
gosh,
Saturday St. Louis.
Sequel Saturday St. Louis. Fantastic.
It's a crazy
Kevin's
name in 2025. Just like explaining this, people like it's not just SQL. Like there's data and there's BI and everything else. Like
Yeah.
it's a very interesting term. The more we get
Sure.
into like AI and everything else. So
Well, we were talking about that in Pittsburgh last week at the unofficial after party, which was the fire pit at the Marriott. So,
nice.
but yeah, it was the same thing, right? Like, and I'm kind of interested that you brought that up. Do you find that it's hard or harder to bring in, the wider net of people because being tied to the sequel name?
It has a lot of prestige for those who are around during that period. But if you're
Hmm.
just now getting into kind of this whole data world, it takes a little bit more explanation.
Yeah.
Um, if it was like data days or something like there's a million different things that I think that I hope the organizing body kind of thinks about in the future. But um, it does take a little bit more explanation than I'd probably like. Like I want to hook you on the first
Right.
invite, right? I want you to read the
Right.
title and be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going." And I'd be like, "Well, hold on, I don't do SQL development. I'm not a DBA." So that's
Yeah.
kind of my reflection there, Kev, for sure. But catchy titles, like catch them on the
Yes.
headline. That's
Yeah.
what I would look for.
Yeah. And that was a lot of what the discussion, and maybe because I was trying to lead the discussion, because I kind of feel that same way, especially, like when we say SQL Saturdays, and I tend to think of, well, we're focused on Microsoft SQL, right? I mean, mostly because these are mostly Microsoft, they do a good job sponsoring the overall SQL Saturday and stuff like that. And but now it's kind of like we do want to bring, the fabric and I'm sure Microsoft would love to see us even bring AI into the overall title. And you're right, that's the type of stuff that's going to grab the younger people.
Yeah.
I like how you said the prestige of, yeah, a lot of us that have seen SQL Saturdays and have grown up, having our careers helped develop by it. I remember the very first one I attended in Dallas, and I was just shocked by it, the amount of learning just given
Yeah.
away for free,
Yeah.
So actually, that brings up a great conversation point, which is the power of branding and messaging that goes along with it, right? Because that's what you're getting to. And so, if we think of, I think it's hard to say there's been a more successful platform in the data space than Power BI, right? I could think of no other platform that has gone from a niche usage to the predominant defining a platform that we should work into and use. How can that help us shape when it comes to branding an event like SQL Saturday?
SQL Saturday and Power BI. I don't know. Like, if we called it Power BI Day, like absolutely everyone would show up because Power BI is low code, it's pro code, it's Tyndall, it's APIs, it's anything you can kind of think of these days. Especially when I like think of the sessions that were submitted, it's like, oh my gosh, you're having to like, what is the audience wanting to see? What are they ready to see? Of course, you'd like to put 500 material, but that's something where you're like, I don't know if everyone would kind of like this. It may be a little bit too deep for some folks. So I would like to have more pre-con days probably in the future, but I'll kind of be honest here. Like, depending upon which GPT you asked, our last SQL Saturday was either 5 years ago or 9 years ago. The real answer is 9 years ago. So it's been about a decade. This has been a long time in the making. So like getting it back up and running takes a ton of lift. It takes a real team to do it as well. So when I kind of look back at like organizational skills, like don't ask me to organize a birthday party after this. Like I don't have that skill set. I'm great though working with a team. So people who are like, hey, I can cover food. I can handle like all the ordering of things and delivery, etc. It's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm really good with like the session selections and getting people interested kind of for the event. So that's kind of my passion, Chris. And then especially everyone else where it's like, well, what about this detail? What about this detail? It's like, oh my gosh, they're seeing things that I don't even think of. So finding a team or building it, that's a huge thing here for these type of events.
I think that's a great point, Alex. And one of the things that I like to constantly point back to is that today there are schools all across the world that are teaching addition and subtraction because there's a new round of people that are coming out and having to learn how to add and subtract and, multiply and divide. So, Alex, you've done a lot of these, you've done some planning. Christina, you've done that as well. So Christina, I'm going to point this question to you, then we'll turn out to everyone. When you think about maintaining the balance for a larger event of this nature, my inclination is you should be predominantly emphasizing that 100 or 200 level courses for people because frankly, there's so many topics to learn and know more about that, like if you just do that, even someone who is a 500 level expert in Tyndall would be able to go and learn more about Jared's topic. What was your topic at FabCon last year, Jared?
PySpark and Fabric.
Yeah, PySpark and Fabric, right? Like, I know nothing about that. I learned a ton at that, right? So, Christina, what is your take on managing that balance?
Yeah, I think the balance is not just 100 and 500, right? I think you kind of got to think of it like a weird bell curve, right? So instead of 100 be on the low side, you kind of have the 500 on the low side. You've got 100 in the middle. You've got these, excuse me, these little 200, 300s right on the side. So I think, at least for I don't know why my camera's being goofy. Sorry, guys. But it knows I'm in the spotlight. It's like, we're going to help you out. No. The 200 and 300s for me are the sweet spot, right? Yeah. Because typically I can learn from a YouTube video the 0 to 99, and maybe I want the 100 to learn these tips and tricks. And then sometimes I have really in-depth questions at the 200, 300 level, or I want to learn something that's just a different way of thinking about how to use a tool that I've seen before. So I think of it that way, right? We've got 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. So you kind of have to balance it because you have to think about what would you who was learning want to learn, what would you 6 months ago want to learn, and what would you 1 month ago want to learn. So it's kind of that whole process. But,
I think that's a great explanation, right? And I've talked to some organizers that also struggle with that, and they talk about getting feedback that there weren't enough 300, 400, or even a 500 session, right? But us being kind of some of the people that we go out and do these type of presentations and stuff like that, think about what it would take just to get the right person that could do the good 500 session,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of them aren't doing it. And then also, because we do go around so much, maybe, you know, I'm going to put all of us in there, and it self promotes me, but you know, maybe we're all just a little bit above average where everybody else is, right?
Yeah.
And even if that's the case, like you said, I get something out of any session that I go to, even if I knew most of the material, you know, presented a different way. And I think we just have to be open, or the people that, you know, that just have to be open and go just for the networking in the hallway conversations that,
Yeah.
you know, that's a huge important part of all of it. And I don't think my camera's messing up as much as yours did, right? But
I know.
I think people would like it if mine was blurred out. So
Jared, you just gave a very successful session on PySpark, and which is an entry level. I learned a ton about it because I'll admit, going into that, the best I did was co-pilot my way through a notebook or two here or there, and I didn't understand what I was doing. Copilot did the whole thing, and but that really taught me about PySpark. What could you share with us if you're going to be presenting at an event? Do you have any like guiding principles for doing that 100 level course so successfully?
Sure. So for me, a lot of the content that I build, I intentionally target it for like the 100, 200 levels, mostly because, like, for the same mentality why I go to conferences. One is the networking, which everybody's talking about, and I remember that just from being at SQL Saturday, Minnesota, and probably the most beneficial time I had there was talking with a bunch of presenters in the hallway. But when it comes to the content, you got to think about it this way. First of all, people who are coming here, they're looking to innovate. They're looking to think outside of their daily activities and to take a new angle at things. So you want to be able to look at things from a new angle, not the same way that we do things day in and day out. The second thing, and this is something that I get picky about and I coach people on when I help them learn to present, is for 100 and 200 level presentations, especially, if you try to make more than one major point over the entire hour-long presentation, more often than not, you're putting too much content into your presentation. Because let's be honest, psychology studies consistently show in that amount of span of time, you will probably only actually retain maybe 5 minutes of information, 10 minutes if you're lucky. So putting in a whole bunch of different information on a whole bunch of different topics within that hour, you're going to be lucky if anybody picks up anything.
Yeah.
So keep it simple, because 100 and 200 levels are supposed to be simple. And it's not just about the content. Your message has to be simple as well. Keep it very simple, focus on that one objective, and kind of then just sandwich it. Start with, this is my message. Take 50 minutes to prove out that this is your message. Summarize at the end. That's your message. You do that, you'll have a great 100 level presentation.
I like that quite a bit, but you brought up one topic. I actually want to go around the horn on this, and I've heard lots of people talk about it. It's a hallway session. Alex, I know we've talked about this in the past. What is a hallway session? Why do you think it's valuable?
Just a random person or random conversation you have out in the hallway could really just make the entire day. So it's not necessarily the content that's being delivered, but, oh my gosh, I heard you say this thing in the session. I wanted to kind of corner you here and ask you to go a little bit deeper. Those type of light bulb moments, like if you can capture them at events, oh my gosh, you will be like set for a lifetime. I do want to go back to one thing that Jared said too, though, Chris, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah,
talk
go
about
for it.
material. Patrick LeBlanc had said this a long time ago, and I really commit it to heart. So as technologists, we're always like, oh my gosh, I need to add more to the content. His big thing is, if you don't think your content is technical enough, it's probably too technical. That meaning, like, yes, you can go to a layer of depth that is going to be way deeper than your audience can follow you out kind of in to see. So scale it back. You don't need to give away the entire thing if you're like, well, they're not getting their money's worth. It's okay. Like 60 minutes, they're not going to learn PySpark in 60 minutes. It's going to give them a little bit of taste to like, oh, now I have like a hunger for it. I'm going to go learn more things through YouTube. through forums and exchanges. Don't feel like you need to cram as much stuff in, but especially during a session, oh my gosh, as an attendee, raise your hand, ask questions. As a presenter, it's your job to be like, hey, if you don't mind, let's throw that in the parking lot. We'll come back to it at the very end if we have time. If not, talk to me in the hallway. But we love participation. Oh my gosh. Quiet, dead audience staring front and center. Oh, it freaks us out. Like, are you here? Do you like this? Talk to us. We enjoy engagement.
Yeah, that's a great point, because honestly, everyone who's presenting knows the material. They're presenting for you, for the person who's attending, to gain understanding, to gain information on it, right? Like, I mean, no, I love talking with you, Alex, and Christina, and Kevin, Jared, but like, we know this stuff, right? Like, we don't put together these presentations to learn this stuff. I mean, to some extent we do, but
I mean, I'll confess, I definitely do.
Well, we put it together to learn while we're putting it together.
Yes.
Once we presented it, you know, that's like you said, we know it. If you have the questions coming back, then you go, okay, well, I have something, and that may adjust it for the next time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, almost every time it's a different presentation. So definitely interact with it. But kind of back to the hallway conversation I put in the chat, there are some people that show up to SQL Saturdays hoping to solve a specific problem.
Oh yeah.
And you know, there's not a presenter that actually gives them the solution, but they find somebody or a group of people. I've seen a couple of conversations, couple of conversations where people are getting together, talking with somebody that had a question, and they come out with almost 90%, if not the full solution of what their problem was. So, and it's just free consulting at that point, you know?
Kevin, I'll bring up a funny one if you don't mind. At FabCon Vegas, a guy brought a notebook and he had all of his questions. You know, as part of his budget approval by his boss, so he needed to get everything answered. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!"
but I mean, really, that's true, right? Like, and actually, that is a great comment. When I go to conferences, I make a list of questions of information that I specifically want to get answered as part of the conference. And sometimes it's not just questions. Sometimes it's, I want to find and track down and talk to these people to potentially influence the direction of the product. I'll say one example of it was in 2017. There was a Microsoft Power BI event that I went to specifically to try to convince leadership to create a paginated report visual inside of Power BI, so we could have a Power BI report with a paginated report inside of it. And I spent multiple days tracking down and talking to different people until I found Chris Finland. And then we had this long drawn out conversation where it led to the, you know, like, okay, hey, we've got a good voice in the community who's out here articulating the business reasons and the business value for this. And that helped him create the stories necessary to make that a justifiable thing. So like, there's tons of use cases for why and how you should be going to these community events, because it's not just about how you can learn something, but how the people attending can learn something from interacting with you as well. So I'm just tossing that out there. Now, Alex, you at the start of this brought up something that is, I think, really important for me, and that is how do you organize if your attention is very focused in on the tech and education? If you're going to organize a large event, how do you do that when necessarily planning an organization or communication marketing isn't your sweet spot?
I'm going to start with momentum.
Okay.
It takes momentum.
Yeah.
And it takes the local monthly user groups. It takes people showing up. It takes demand for this type of event. So it's not just like, let's do it overnight. This kind of goes back to stories that I've told to others, and I know, Christina, I've mentioned to you as well. Like, the first time I organized a local user group, 7 people showed up, 4 of them were the organizers. It's highs and lows.
Yep.
So for anyone who is like considering like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. Well, why can't you? If there's people locally and you're like, can we just meet at a coffee shop? Maybe it's 3 or 4 of you. Kind of a lot of the things I've talked about this year is just the whole AI slop. Everything on the internet eventually is just going to be this weird thing that you see and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to watch that anymore. You're going to look for opportunities to kind of check, sign off, go hang out with real people, do real things. A local user group, oh my gosh, if you could be the one that just starts the conversation, that's huge. Having those monthly events that kind of build to this crescendo, that's really what this is, Chris. It's like, because you all have built up this demand, we now want to do this amazing thing. That takes a lot of planning. There's 2 user groups here locally. There's a SQL Server user group. They've been around for 15 plus years, 900 plus members. Still struggle. Same things of like, hey, people show up. Some months, other months, they just want to dial in virtually. I'm very transparent. Like we don't do virtual sessions for our Fabric and Power BI community. We're an in-person user group only. You get a couple people that are diehards and they show up every month, and you build on that momentum. So those are the people you're like, oh, I know that they'll attend SQL Saturday because like they're here every month. They're asking the tough questions. They're telling me next month go 500, next month go 100. They're giving you that feedback. Once you have kind of that established momentum, that's when you start planning. Planning is 12 months. Planning is 9 months. It's getting sponsors. It's getting people that want to help organize this from a financial standpoint. If it's internal as well, Chris, I know you've kind of done this in the past, like internal events, you need to get sign off from leadership. If they're willing to give employees time off to go learn these things, that is revenue lost by them not doing work. But it's an investment in them to do better work on the other side. So as organizers, it's on us to like, is this worth their time for attending? Do we have the right material? It's like, for me, like the content is great, but I want them to fall in love with my friend Kev. I want them to fall in love with Stephanie, and I want Belinda and everyone else. Like next year, they're like, oh my gosh, is Kevin coming back? Oh my gosh, what about this? Like those are the things I want people to ask kind of post-event and like session feedback and surveys. But Chris, it takes a lot of momentum, man.
It's more complicated than a wedding, in my opinion. It's more complicated than planning a wedding.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because you're talking about like food and organizing sessions and planning out event spaces. I mean, there's a lot that can go into it. And Alex, you're spot on. It can take 6 to 9 months to successfully plan for something.
Yeah.
With that said, I think you also need to key in on the word you said there is the momentum. Look at the momentum that you're generating and kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
If the momentum is 7 people, awesome. It's 7 people. Like let that be the thing. If it's bigger, let it be as big as the momentum is naturally going to take it to. Allow people to help, encourage people to help. I'll say I wanted to put on an event. I thought it was going to be 30 people. So I got funding for, I think it was 5 pizzas. My Microsoft rep said they're going to pay for 5 pizzas. We figured 30 people, and then I published a sign up page, and in 4 hours I had 400 people sign up for it.
Cut that pizza smaller.
Everyone gets one pepperoni.
Yeah.
Pepperoni.
So we just suddenly had to roll with, okay, now we have 400. Now we have 800. We grew up to 1,400 people that attended that event. But because we had momentum on our side, all of a sudden there were PMs, and all of a sudden there were analysts, and all of a sudden there were people that were great at planning things out, even if I, the guy who said, hey, I want to have a little meeting to talk about this stuff, wasn't necessarily skilled in that. We were able to like leverage those abilities and leverage those people to like bring that on and learn more about it, right? Because Christina, you're spot on. It takes catering. I mean, a big shout out to Lisa Kelly, whose budget at Microsoft suddenly flexed to account for um, a 15 catering for 1,500 people from 30 to 1,500. Not exactly sure how we did that, but good for her for getting that approved. But just roll with it. Things will work out. That's the way the universe is set up, right?
Yeah. So hey, Alex, do have another question for you.
Yeah.
You've talked about, the power of getting others to help you putting a team together. So can you tell us a little bit how big is your team? What are the skill sets that you look to put onto this organizing team?
Yeah. So especially here in Hull, there's 5 of us for kind of this committee. Some of the shared responsibilities of the other user group here, the SQL team. A lot of them, they did all of the paperwork for the SQL Saturday. They had all this established. Especially for me as Microsoft, like I'm hosting the actual physical location. So now I'm doing AV. I'm doing day of, like making sure elevators are up and running by the time we need them. A lot of these logistical on-site planning, I'm kind of helping with as well, Kevin. Some of the other people are fantastic from the partner community who have said, "Hey, we'll take on the whole, food organization. We'll make sure the lunch is on the table when it's needed at the necessary times." Like, it's amazing seeing how everyone has said, "Here's a task, I'll take ownership." Originally, when I signed up, I didn't realize how big this was going to be. I was just like, "Yeah, I'll promote to a few friends to submit sessions, and that will be all I need to do." Oh my gosh, I was not sure what I was signing up for. If you ask me right now, I'd be like, "Never again." If you ask me on Sunday, I'd be like, "When are we doing it next?" That's really where I'm at.
Yeah,
but it doesn't take a huge army. It can be just a small bit of passion, but really it does take passion. And for anyone who's like, if you're like, "Oh, well, I'm not in a major metropolitan area, could I do this?" Start with a small community. Start with a small coffee shop. It could be just a couple people. It doesn't take much to get momentum going. Oh my gosh, what's Adam here saying? He's doing a bunch of crazy talking here in the comments, Chris. You'll have to keep me on
it. He's bringing up the point that when you put these events together, just like you said, sometimes you're managing the elevators, sometimes you're taking out the trash. I wore a step counter to that big event I was telling you about. I hit like 35,000 steps. I handed out so many T-shirts and I moved so many stupid keychains. Like, I can remember thinking I'm going to throw my back out lifting up keychains, right? Like, you just don't know what you're going to suddenly do, right?
Lift them one at a time, Chris.
But actually, and Adam posted a good thing here as well, where he said you're going to benefit from the community you cultivate, which is actually something we were going to talk about, which is a post Adam made yesterday about building out that that community that you have inside your company, right? So, Kevin, you pointed this out to us, and you had some great feedback on this as well.
Yeah, so I think it was just a timing thing from when Adam put it out yesterday. It showed up on my feed, and it really resonated with me, right? So I did put a comment out there, and I did repost it. But you see a lot of us in the chat and things like that. A lot of people know of the Saturday Morning Learning Crew. A lot of us participate in that. So from what Adam put together on his live stream, when you got there, the people in the chat were just so good, right? And it's just a testimonial to Adam, the type of people that he drew in. But that chat was just so good. A lot of us wanted to talk to each other even more, and we started meeting people at conferences. I think Stina, who had to leave, she mentioned that was a benefit. She got to go into the conference. She met some people. She pulled into this group, and we formed this wonderful community. And as I look through the comments on Adam's post, I looked just a little bit before this. There's a ton of other people that have done that have put together other communities based upon just attending something like a SQL Saturday or a live stream or something because of the connections that you make. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it can be really fun. You can make it really fun. It doesn't have to be just like, okay, we sit in a dark room together and we only talk about SQL for an hour. It's like, no, we can actually talk about what's going on in our worlds, what's going on in the wider data community. Where do you think things are going? It can be a lot of fun. I remember Minnesota, they had a happy hour every month.
Yeah.
And that really built our community up because we all knew we went to Surly Brewing every like first Wednesday of the month. And just that consistency was enough to be able to follow up on thoughts, right? Like, okay, hey, we talked about this last time. How's that going? Like, that is so powerful.
And I think at least the important thing there too is structuring it so that we're getting here to meet as a community, which means we talk about what the community wants to talk about. Like, okay, we're meeting S equals Saturday. Sure, we're there to talk, learn about tech things, but I'm always adamant about, and this is the reason I like doing these in-person events, is we're humans first. And that means humans first is like, yeah, we spend 8 hours a day on our job, but we spend another 8 hours doing a whole bunch of other things that fill up our lives with so many important things. And to really build that community, that's what it's about. It's not about the tech. It's about building those personal relationships. And that's what gets you a sticky community that is able to get that momentum, and really spins into all of these communities. I mean, I say that just recently joining SML, and the reason I joined it wasn't to learn more tech stuff. It was having some just genuinely simple conversations with Belinda and Stacy, and that's what it turned into. Like, that's what's making the community. It's not the tech.
Yeah,
we do got to go to a side post for just a second, Chris. Do you got a sticky note on your shirt, Jarrett?
Yeah.
It's a patch. The patch up there.
Oh, you patched the T-shirt to be more relevant. Okay.
No. The software itself updated, and so it updated my shirt too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, since we're talking about things that are important, one of the biggest things that's important in life is keeping your focus on work and at hand. And that's where Nero Gum comes into play. Nero Gum brings you caffeine, vitamins B12, and L-theanine, and it's one of the things that keeps me up and going every single day. This is a product that I completely and totally endorse, and if you use Kratos BI at checkout, you'll get 0% off because while I endorse them, they do not endorse this show. So we like to.
He is smooth, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got this down.
Please use Kratos BI at checkout so that maybe they'll reach out to Chris and go, "What the hell are all these people trying to get this coupon?"
We don't need any post editing here, Chris. That was awesome, man. You just run with that.
Oh gosh, I do like this stuff though. It's fantastic. It's really good. Sorry. Keep going. All right,
I was
but
just gonna say
to the whole point. This should be fun, right? Like the work we do should be fun. We should enjoy the stuff we do. I mean, Jared, you've been on phone calls with me every single day. People say, "Hey, how's it going?" I say it's the best day ever because every day I get to work on subjects I like with people that I like, yielding results that I like. And if you're finding yourself you're not in that place, maybe it's the community that you're in, or that you're too isolated. Come join a community where you can get that same enjoyment out of your work. Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
amazing.
All right, back to community. So we've been talking about the community of conferences. We've touched in on the community of SML and how that would, and these different user groups that are out there. There's one community space that we have not really hit on yet, and I want to get more like insights from you, Alex, and that is creating the fabric community over on Reddit. So you've created, and you've kind of created a monster over there. I think last time I looked, there was first time I looked, there was a few hundred subscribers. Last time I looked, there's like 13,000 or something like that. Where are you at?
19,000.
Holy cow.
So Kim Manna said, if we could just have 10% of the Power BI users, could you imagine? And I was like, oh my gosh. I think Power BI is like 190,000 maybe, and we're at 19. So like we're starting to pass that inflection point. For me, like it's the Wild West. I love it because people are posting crazy questions all day long. And people are like responding back too, and you start seeing names kind of pop up. Kev, I miss you in the threads. I haven't seen you in a long time, man.
Yeah,
Hope
I
you're
know.
doing all right. I'll catch you today and we'll talk about it. But
All right.
people come and go, and that's fine. The part that I enjoy though is just the fact that like having a connection to like product engineering teams. Like they're like, how do we become more involved over there? Having pride in your delivery. So people are like, you didn't get this thing right. Well, where can we learn? Where can we improve? Where can we maybe fix these things? I've seen a lot of engineering teams kind of take on that challenge as well. But it doesn't stop here at Reddit though. Like we're having discussions where other places do community like to hang out, like hanging out on Discord. They're like hanging out on Slack and some of these other channels. Like where could we potentially look at to tap into more of these places? I'm having the same thing though, Chris. Just like SML, we're going to this conference. I want to see my people.
Yeah.
So now we're having our Reddit photos. We're having our Reddit get-togethers. People are like, oh my gosh, that's you. They're coming out in the anonymous shadows. Andrew, yes, I'll see Andrew at the event tomorrow. And he's one of our amazing Redditors up there, always helpful. But how do we get people connected in the real world? Back to Jared's point, like I'm investing all these things because eventually I want to get off the computer and go talk to people or do real things. I love kind of Christina's point as well. Of like once a month we just get together, have a couple libations, and they're now my friends. I'm going to see them next month. We're going to coordinate going to this event, Kevin, like the SML crew. Like they show up with t-shirts and they take over the entire event. You're like, who are these crazies that are running in the hallways? And then you ask, like, how do I join? I think many people are just looking for those opportunities to hang out with their tribe. These are my people. I want to see them. So I love that you kind of brought up the Reddit stuff, Chris. It's a cool community.
It's not a zero-sum game, right? If you're finding that you're having a hard time connecting with what exists, make something else.
Yeah.
There's infinite space in this for people to build community.
And we want to invite you in. Don't feel like you have to be on the outside looking in. I've talked to people who are like, well, you guys all have these fun things. Like, how do I become a part of it? I would love to help you. I just need to know that you're out there. What do you want to do? How do I get you connected? Maybe it's not this group. Maybe it's this other thing you should go check out. Yeah. There are just so many different avenues to kind of pull people in. And I'm going to make fun of Mark Beadle because he sent me that Twitter note. He's like, I see you all having this fun. How do I get involved? And I just go, everyone go learn about Mark. If you don't know him, he's amazing. He lives,
he's great.
What is he, like 20, 30 minutes? Or how far is he from you, Christina?
Yeah, 15, 20. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
We've had dinner once, so we've actually met in person. He's much taller in person.
Oh my gosh, he's a giant.
Yeah. But
yeah.
He's great.
I'm always amazed at the people that are much taller or shorter than you would think. I'm not a tall guy, so it's always I always find it impressive because I presume everyone's my height or taller, and that's a very safe assumption. But every once in a while, I run into someone and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I had that revelation just post-COVID. Company I was working with, I worked with them for about a year and a half, and I had a counterpart data architect, and we both got hired like just as COVID hit or shortly thereafter, so we never got the chance to meet in person. Then finally everything let up and I was like, yeah, let's go and have lunch. And my goodness, I was just like, oh, he's probably like average height 6'8". He's like 5'3", and I just sit there, I'm like, oh, hi. You've got the right camera angle when you're on your video calls.
You have to take
well
up space
done
in your video call. That's what someone told me. You have to fill at least half the screen. I always get asked.
So it faces up, and
they always think I'm very short, and then I meet them in person. So you never know. You never know.
So, I'll say I had a nice experience where Microsoft asked me to film a little like intro for a conference several years ago, and the director they had filming it was one of the assistant directors for Gladiator, I think. And so it was like, oh, like I recognize your name from like Like it wasn't Ridley Scott, but it was like a guy that you see on the credits and stuff. I'm like, wow, okay, Microsoft, that's what you fantastic. And he like totally deconstructed my camera and my frame placement. He's like, no, up, lower, zoom back, move back. Yes, sir.
Did you have to pay SAG dues after that?
I was gonna say IMDb paid, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, I was concerned I was going to have to pay for this coaching, but it was a fun experience. So yeah.
So
Awesome.
pulling back a little bit to the Reddit again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one of the things that really makes that, I'm not sure how you convinced everybody that works with you to help join that, but I go to answer questions, and I think a high percentage of the time I see somebody that's a Microsoft employee already jumped in and answered a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's amazing. So I'm looking at it, but I'm going, I don't know that I have much more to contribute, because you have such a good set of community members that work for Microsoft. How did you convince them to come over there and talk about stuff? I mean, I've had very specific problems solved. In fact, one of the Microsoft employees replied to one of the threads just days ago when something got fixed, and immediately I had my developer put it in. How did you get them to join and help build that community? Because that's one thing that makes Reddit great.
So it's always interesting, right? Of like, they're seeing what you're doing, and they're like, they're doing something interesting over there. And people are asking really deep, interesting questions at a time where the product isn't fully fledged. Like, there's 30 years of Excel. Like, there's enough built up knowledge from users, from experts, everything else.
30 or 40?
Oh my gosh, did 40. They just pass 40? Oh, you're right, with the hoodies.
40.
Oh my gosh, I lost a decade there somewhere. 40. So Fabric is still like, we're all figuring it out.
Right.
It's still brand new, and we don't pretend to be experts even at Microsoft. Like, well, how do you think you're going to use it? Like, we didn't design it for that, but that's a great use case. So it's that curiosity amongst the engineering teams. It's the support of leadership. Arun is active over there. Kim, Bogdan, a few others. They're also big lurkers, so don't feel like just because they're not posting that they aren't reading it. For me, it's the pride of ownership that I see, especially from the software engineers, where they're like, dang it, you're right, that's a bug. Let me go and take ownership in cleaning that up. Where sometimes it's like the support, I call it the support gauntlet, where you're just submitting a ticket, going through back and forth emails, calls, and you're stuck in this thing for like 3 or 4 weeks. If they could get the instant response from someone, then they're highly motivated to go check it out.
Yeah.
So those teams I've seen just honestly be rock stars. Others I still get every day. How do we go participate? I have pages that describe don't overly access, don't promote, don't spam it with blog links. Like, it's their community first. It's ours second. We just want to hang out and be observers and participants, but we don't want to dictate what you say or don't say. So like, if you want to blast us and say mean things, just say it cordially, a little cordially. That's all I would ask.
It is Reddit, so I mean that can happen.
But I mean, it's very easy to join it, right? You literally just go to the link and then click on join, and if you want, turn on the alarm bell, right? Like that's as hard as it is to become a member of this community. Am I wrong? Is there something else you have to do?
That's it. Just hit the join button. You'll start seeing it in your feed. So
that's fantastic.
The part that I enjoy about learning is like, I don't have to touch the keyboard to learn. I can learn through reading and osmosis, how people are breaking down problems. Oh, that's how they're approaching it. You know what? That makes sense for me. That's how I'll probably look at it in the future as well. So that's where I just have a lot of fun with kind of the daily threads. Chris, I want to get off Reddit though. I want to sign off, if that's all right.
You want to sign off of Reddit?
I want to talk about SQL Saturday. I want to talk about
let's do that. Yeah,
I want to talk about non-SQL Sunday, where the event is over. I want the people who fell in love at the event to start attending the monthly. This is the crescendo, and now this is the feed into the next month, the month after. Like, those are the events and things that I'm kind of thinking about here. Christina, I'll maybe pick on you a little bit too, just because I know a little bit about your group. you need to find a space.
I know.
You need to find consistency. You need to find a couple people that are willing to show up every month, and that kind of continues to build. Talk me through some of that.
Yeah, so funny enough, so we have a Lexington data technology group. So if you're in Lexington, maybe you're hitting up the Bourbon Trail, feel free to reach out. We're always down to hang out. Or if you're going to a horse race, whatever is your fancy. But we meet every month, and it's been amazing. Every quarter, we do a happy hour. So instead of our usual meeting, we kind of try and pull people in who might not want to listen to a certain topic, but really want to build community. So we've been doing that for a few years now, and Matt Gordon leads the charge on that. It's awesome. But we actually combined user groups with like 3 others that were kind of dying, and so we all kind of joined forces, and we're like, we're gonna make this happen. So that's why it's called data technology user group instead of anything fabric, because we have a lot of data engineers. We have everything from a analyst all the way to software engineers. And so we have quite a wide range of experience, of curiosities. So it's been great because we all get to learn from each other and understand what each other does and how we all think together. And it's been awesome. So we have quite an awesome group of people who show up every month, and they are incredible. I'm actually having a couple of them over. We're gonna do Halloween horror movie night at our house. We're gonna have a couple people over from that group. So it's just kind of fun to see how your community can grow from that. You find your people, and we're really hoping to do. We had a Derby City Data Days year ago.
Okay.
We're committed to doing something in 2026. It's tough when you have 3 organizers who all really love going to other events because you need somebody
Because you're never
who's
around
here
to attend your event.
yeah, to plan your event, right? I mean, we're planning our
Yeah.
own travel. It's hard to plan an event. So, and to your point of finding a good group of people, we just got to find our group to launch the next one. And we need to find a good space because it's just like a wedding, right? Until you have a venue, you can't put out a date. And until you have a date, you can't really ask people to come. And you can't have speakers lined up. You can't get sponsorships. So it's kind of a chicken and egg problem. But it's one that's not too difficult to overcome if you just take a little bit of time to do it. So we're committing to it. That's the goal. It's on camera now and recorded, so we have to do it. But no, we're really hoping to do it. So that's kind of the goal there. Yeah.
So the reason why I kind of pick on her a little bit is because she's not too far down the road.
No.
Oh.
And the part that I always kind of tell people is like, well, if it's not in your backyard, it could be a financial commitment. It could be a tank of gas. It could be a hotel room. When I was early on in kind of the community, like it was a flight to Orlando. I got to meet Reza Rad. I got to meet Patrick. We were probably like the only 10 Power BI people at a Dynamics conference of 30,000 or whatever. So like we were overwhelmed, and it was just like holding each other tightly. If you're sitting here watching this video, just know, like, if you want to go be a part of events like this, what is it going to take to get there? Don't think that it's that far out of reach to be like, you know what, it's a 4-hour drive. I'm going to do a back and forth. Maybe you're just going to burn the midnight oil, kind of getting there at midnight and checking your hotel and then getting the event. Like, it could be a couple $100 that could literally change some of your career trajectory or like new friendships, anything else. Take advantage of it when you go. I just think that there's so many great opportunities to be in person, especially as we kind of move forward with this stuff.
Yeah, Alex, you are spot on. This is an investment in you.
Yeah.
This is not, oh, my work says I got to do this, or this guy on YouTube is saying it's important. It's how do you take time in your life to set yourself up for success? And it's making those connections, it's sharpening your axe, it's helping you get ready to have the resources to take on your next set of challenges that you don't even know you're going to face by preparing yourself with these types of resources. And you need to take that time in the same way in 3rd grade you came home with that little worksheet and you sat for a few hours at night and you struggled with long division or whatever it was, right? Like, or spelling in my case. And I still struggle with that. But
Me too.
you still you need to take that time to hone your craft. And I think of it this way: the farmers have to get up early in the morning to milk the cows. They have to they do it late at night too. Every once in a while, as white collar workers, gotta like put in some extra hours. You know, as Kevin or as Alex said, burn that midnight oil to drive to and from a place, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be better for having taken that effort.
Chris, the way I justified this early on was if I had to spend $300 to get a $5,000 promotion, was that a good return on investment?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, literally, since I've started speaking, my salary has tripled.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes hard work along the way. I'm not going to say it's just because I've been speaking, but it does open up opportunities. It helps you see the art of the possible, and you can be the thought leader in your organization. And that gets you raises, that gets you opportunities at new companies, that gets you a lot of things.
Yeah, and you build your network to help you solve those problems, right? Because you know, maybe you know you have a very strong company, strong people that work there, but not every company knows everything. You've probably reached out to people outside the company, solved the problem, and then, like you said, that now still reflects well on you to do so much better, you know, and everything. So, yeah, I mean, I constantly have conversations where somebody brings up a topic to me, and I go, yeah, I know this much about it, but if you really want to go deep, I know somebody else that I could connect you with, or you know, I could take the question and help you solve the problem, because you build out that bigger network because of the user groups, right? I like what Alex said, right? It's not just about the SQL Saturday, it's the non-SQL Sunday, or the day after, right? The month after. What are you doing, right? I mean, once you've met the group and the people putting it all together, you know, I know there's a lot of us traveling in, you know, to do this event just because we love to do it, but connect with us afterwards, right? And you know, and then like you said, then go to Alex's, you know, user group after that, you know. So definitely that's a huge thing.
Especially now, like we're getting more kind of hiring managers showing up to events who are like, we're looking for this type of talent. At a time right now where it's like, I'm submitting 1,000 applications, I'm not getting anything in return. I tell you what, a face-to-face with someone who says, oh my gosh, I see you every month and I trust you. That will get you into the door.
Or even if we hear about things, you know, I mean, everybody in this community knows somebody else who knows somebody else. It's like the best MLM you'll ever be a part of, because you don't have to buy in. You know, it's just this network that gets created. Like I can tell you of at least 4 people in the past 3 months who have gotten jobs because somebody in the data community heard they were looking and was able to connect them with somewhere they thought they'd be a good fit.
Yeah, I was going to say
as someone who has to like interview and hire lots of people, I'm often looking for someone who's engaged in their career and not just working a job. And to me, it's a great sign that you're engaged in your career when you attend user groups, when you're part of communities, when you're thinking about, you know, thinking about expanding your career and you love what you do and you're not just punching a clock every single day, right? Like, to me, that's the biggest sign of like, hey, I should hire this person. And you leapfrog all of the other people that are in the queue when you have that personal connection. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I'll say, one of the biggest compliments I've recently have was a couple years ago in my employee review, my annual review. They're like, you know what, we're rating you at this 4, and it's a 4 not because or just you know the tech stuff, and we've known that forever, right? The tech and solving that, okay, you've got that down, but you have crafted such a network of people that you're able to go above and beyond and solve problems that are multiple degrees of separation beyond your excellent skill set because of the people you know. And it's through these communities that you get to know those people. All right, we are nearly at time. So as we start to like wind down, as we start to think about the broader community, we think about all these different ways to engage with people. Alex, we're going to give you the last word on your tips, or like if you had a magic wand and you were able to like wave it and everyone would do this, what would that be?
Volunteer.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Now you got all kinds of time to fill.
Yeah.
For me, there's multiple things that people can help with. You don't have to take on the full burden of everything, especially like in Christina's example, like 3 user groups coming together. Oh my gosh, we can split the task in 3.
Yeah.
As an attendee, if you want to help out with doing something, oh my gosh, we would love you forever. Those type of little raising hand moments, they mean such an immense just amount of gratitude for us as organizers. And I'll be honest with you, as an organizer, like I want to hand this off to people. It shouldn't be the Alex show and the Alex vision forever.
Right.
As things evolve, like I want people to take ownership of it and like kind of run with it themselves. And I think for any group that's kind of had a long-standing history, they would say the same thing. They want change. They want fresh ideas and perspectives. It does take a lot of nurturing care, though. So that's where it's like the monthly signals. If people want to learn about Power BI, then we talk about Power BI content. If the Power BI people aren't showing up, then we're talking about Fabric content. It's a very interesting balance right now with technology, just because it could be pro code experiences, it could be low code experiences, especially if you're trying to combine a user group that does everything. What do your members want to hear about? Listen to them. Have things that are ready kind of in the hopper that addresses multiple people's needs. With that, things will go up and down. I always say the waves in the ocean go up and down each day. There'll be highs and lows, but if you can maintain a consistent group, oh my gosh, that will get you through the good and the bad days. That's where I really think about, though, is just listening to the emotional needs of kind of the users that are showing up. Thanks, Chris. That's my magic wand.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was perfect. Yep.
And as we start to like wind this down, I do want to call out that now is the perfect time to get your tickets for FabCon 2026 Atlanta. You can go out, you can register right now. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Prices will continue to go up. There's a big price jump that's going to happen. I believe it's November 1st. So go out. There's discount codes out there. If you use Kratos BI, you'll get 0% off. So go ahead and try that one to save actually $0.
I think Guy in a Cube has one. I think I saw that on LinkedIn somewhere.
Oh, they have one already? Yeah.
Might be Cube 100 or Cube 200. Try one.
I think it's Cube 200.
Yo. No.
But I also want to reiterate one point Alex made, and we breezed through it really quickly. Somebody got their budget approved because they had a list of questions, and somebody else mentioned in the chat, they said they were going to a FabCon or whatever to explicitly get these questions answered or this problem solved, and they did, and it helped them get their budget approved. So if you're looking to get your employer to help you with it, if you take nothing else away from that and you listen to the end, take that tip away.
Awesome.
That's a fantastic one.
Shameless plug for FabCon Atlanta. If you want, I am doing a full day workshop with Chris Hyde on data warehousing. So I'd love to see you there if that's something you're interested in. So I'll be there at the whole conference. So not that you should just come for me, but if you want to meet and hang out,
but you should.
I'm a little infamous for not going to as many sessions because I just love talking to people the whole time. So if you see me there, come reach out. I love connecting with people.
I guarantee I'm going to be there. I'm pretty sure Jared's going to be there. Alex, are you going to be there as well?
Absolutely. I'll be running tech support for the workshop. So any of the password resets and things Christina needs for her attendees, I'll be the one in the background.
Nice. And Kevin, you'll be there? Yes.
I'm planning on being there, yeah. And then, as Chabnan mentioned in the chat, there's a SQL Saturday, right? So the event after the event, that weekend, and the Atlanta SQL Saturday has always been a really great event. So come in for FabCon, stay that little bit extra time that weekend, and come party with us. literally party with us. But
Yeah.
All right,
explain that
awesome.
later.
Last year. Yeah.
All right, and with that, we have to say goodbye. We are at time, and I know everybody's got meetings on their calendars. So you guys have the best day ever. Peace.
Peace.
Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.